Hey Libra, welcome to your January 2021 monthly reading. I hope that you guys are doing good. I hope that you guys are at peace with whatever state of being that you guys are currently in. Let's go ahead and get into your reading. To start off the readings, I'm kind of switching it up. I switch it up all the time, I know. But I'm going to be doing my intro prayer. This is something that I usually do off camera before I start the reading, but I kind of feel like it would be good for you guys to also be able to take a second to just catch your breath, to kind of focus on your breathing, to kind of just take a second to just really focus on yourself and focus on connecting with your own guides, okay? So you can just close your eyes and do this with me, or you can just skip ahead too if you don't want to watch this part. It's totally fine. I call upon the angels, ancestors, and spirit guides of Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, for those that guide, watch over, and protect and lead Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. I invite these energies and entities into this space, into me. I open up my channel, allowing myself to receive messages from the divine source, to receive messages from the guides that watch over, protect, and guide Libra. I am open to receiving these messages. I'm open to receiving clear and concise messages and images, smells, feelings that concern Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements for their month of January 2021. I ask to receive insight, to be able to relay messages to Libra, to give them their guidance for the month of January 2021 from the guides that watch over them. I ask my angels to protect me, to protect Libra, to protect this space and this reading and this time from any negative energies or entities that try to interfere with this reading. I only will allow higher vibrational messages to come through from the divine source. Thank you, Spirit. Alrighty, Libra, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm excited because my last two readings were really, really good, especially my last one. Virgo, if you got any Virgo in your chart, watch the Virgo reading. Virgo reading was good. If you know any Virgos, tell them to watch the Virgo reading. That one was really good. Alrighty. Okay, so for my Libra, what's the challenge presented this month? What's the challenge? Two of Swords. What is the challenge this month? What's the challenge this month for Libra? Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Eight of Swords. Do want to get one more. What's the challenge this month? January 2021 challenge for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. What is the challenge? Thank you, Spirit. Awesome. And Death. Alrighty. So we have Two of Swords, Queen of Pentacles in reverse, Eight of Swords, and the Death card. So I feel like you guys are, the challenge that you're, excuse me, I just had some tea, excuse me. The challenge that you guys are presented with this month, Libra, has a lot to do with you having a really difficult time allowing something that has already ended, right? So it's not, we're not at a place where we can prevent an ending, right? And in truth, I really don't think that we can ever prevent something from ending, because I really think that once something has begun the journey to finish a cycle, it's gonna finish, right? So like the cycle had to end, whatever this was, whether it was a physical death, I don't think it actually was. For some of you guys who could experienced an actual loss of a loved one recently, and if you did, I really just feel like that's for like one or two of you. I don't feel like a lot of you guys have, but it's really just the ending of a cycle. Something has ended, right? Because I don't think this is yet to happen. It has already ended and it's starting to transform into something else. But I feel like you guys are still at a place within yourselves where it's like, you don't want to acknowledge this ending. I feel like you guys don't want to acknowledge that, for those of you that someone passed away, you don't want to acknowledge that they passed away. You don't want to acknowledge that, you know, you can't do things the same way that you could before because now everything's different, or, you know, because once something ends, things do change because a new cycle starts, right? So I feel like you guys are yet to really fully integrate yourselves into this new cycle that your life is shifting into, right? But you also need to understand this. Regardless of whether you are on board or not, you do enter that new cycle, but instead of entering that new cycle open to the change, you're entering that new cycle holding on to the beliefs and the way that you engaged with the world from the previous cycle. Does that make sense? So it's like you're in the new cycle whether you like it or not, because life moves on, whether you know, we can't make the world stop. We can't make people stop. We can't make life just stop, right? We can choose to stay stuck within our patterns and our beliefs, which I feel like this is kind of what happened here, because Two of Swords is such a stubborn energy. It's like, and it's like, it's such a I have to laugh, honestly, because to me it's like it's a funny stubborn energy, because and I'm literally the most stubborn person ever, so it's like I totally get it. But the Two of Swords is like a funny energy in the sense that it's like, like, I know that I need to let this go. I know, because Two of Swords is like, I know what needs to be done, but I refuse to, right? It's a refusal to see the truth. It's a refusal to acknowledge what has happened. It's a refusal to accept, but also being aware, right? You have an awareness of what has happened. You're not dumb, Libra. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse with the Eight of Swords. And I feel like you guys are like really like torturing yourselves. So like whatever has happened, whether it was your fault or not, I feel like you guys are really finding the blame, because the Queen of Pentacles is the mother and it's in reverse. So I feel like instead of being in your empowered mother state, right? Instead of being in a place where it's like everything is positive, and instead of being in a place of nurturing yourself, you're kind of almost like doing the opposite, right? Because the Queen of Pentacles, the mother, she's a nurturer, right? She nurtures herself and she nurtures her garden and her children. And I feel like you guys are in a place where you're not actually able to do that. You're kind of like almost you're poisoning yourself. For some of you guys, whatever this change was seems really like dark. And I feel like, or it just puts you, or it's putting you in a dark place. Because I feel like some of you guys may be turning to like substances in order to make yourself feel better. I feel like you guys put yourselves in negative mindsets, or there's just like a lot of really negative chatter going on in the brain. Like a lot of like, oh, like you're really talking. I feel like there's a lot of like negative self-talk going on in the brain this month, Libra. And I feel like there's a lot of like you kind of like, and it's like the poisoning that I'm feeling, because I feel like you guys are poisoning yourselves. And again, this, for some of you, could be like substances, alcohol, drugs are poisoning you because you're turning to those for like temporary relief. But also too, like, I am getting poisoning, but it could also be that you're poisoning yourself in the sense that you're just talking about yourself in a very negative way. You're putting yourself down. You could be having feelings or thoughts of unworthiness, things like that. So we're definitely not in the best shape. I feel like you guys are your own captors in this situation, though, because I feel like the suffering that you're enduring is coming from yourself. I feel like you guys are creating the suffering. You don't have to suffer, Libra, this month if you don't want to. But I feel like for some of you guys also, this could be a thing where the cycle, right? Because you're entering a new cycle as something has ended. It could also be like, this could be a cycle of when things change, or when things fall apart, or when things end, maybe you have a tendency to blame yourself. Maybe when you were growing up, anytime anything went wrong, regardless of if you had anything to do with it, maybe your parents always blamed you, or like found a way to make it like, oh, it's your fault that this happened, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe like it could be like and this is the example I'm getting because this is something I do to my mom all the time, but like as a joke. But like when I'm at home and I drop something or I make a mess and my mom's like in another room, I'm like, Mom. And she's like, what? It's like, you just dropped the plate. She's like, what? I'm not even in the room. It's just like something funny me and my mom do. But it could be something like that, where it's like something that literally had nothing to do with you somehow actually gets blamed on you. And that could have been something that some of you guys have experienced in your childhood growing up. It could be something you guys experienced in your early relationships when you were teens, young 20s, or your first kind of relationships and connections, romantically or with friendships, where when something went wrong, they blamed it on you, even though it had nothing to do with you. And it could just be that you've adopted this mentality, and this is the cycle that you're playing into, right? This is the internal cycle that you're playing into, that anytime something, goes wrong or something changes, right? Something did change, something ended, you are like blaming yourself, like, oh, it's all my fault. Even though I feel like the thing is here, right? That awareness is that I feel like deep down, or a part of you, Libra, you know that it's not true. But also when we build up these like traumatic cycles of, replaying these situations, it's really hard to break out of, but it's also really hard to, become aware of, right? It's really hard to become aware that we are doing this from like this like trauma, right? It's really hard to and because I feel like once you do kind of take note and acknowledge it, then I feel like it's a little bit easier to do something about it. But I feel like it also could be really hard. You may be knowing, the awareness that you might have right now at this moment, Libra, could just be that you're aware that you're the one inflicting this negativity to yourself. You're aware that you're poisoning yourself, like by just thinking negative thoughts, by putting yourself down or relying on substances. you're aware of this, but I feel like you're not aware of where it stems from. And that's what I'm saying. That's the difficult part. It's like, so a lot of times we're aware, like, oh God, oh my God, I probably shouldn't be telling myself that I'm like worth nothing. I probably shouldn't be telling myself to kill myself, or all these really dark thoughts. But it's like, you're like, why am I doing that? And the why is sometimes very difficult for us to figure out. So hopefully some of you guys take the time to do that, because part of that work is really about you. No one can tell you why you do what you do. No one can tell you what, you know what I'm saying? It's really up to you. Therapists, and I would even go up to say tarot readings as well, are really helpful to kind of steer us in the right direction. But a lot of the work that needs to be done is for you to figure it out, okay? But let's go ahead and take some advice for this situation. So like I already said, I really think that for you guys, a lot of this has to do with like some trauma that came up. So maybe some therapy would be good, or someone that's more educated in this matter to be able to help you pinpoint exactly where this is coming from. But I feel like this is kind of a cycle that happens, that anytime that something goes wrong, you somehow, you know, maybe in the past people used to blame you, but now you've adopted that, and now anytime something goes wrong, you blame yourself. And it's like, it's not your fault, baby. You gotta take a second, Libra, and you have to look at this from a logical place, right? When something goes wrong next time, this is my advice, and I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, but my advice would be, the next time something goes wrong and you feel like it's your fault, take a look at what actually happened and see what part you had to play into it and what part you didn't. Do not blame yourself for things that you could have done, right? So like, let's say, something happens with someone and it goes bad, and then you're like, and then you take a second and you do what I do, and you're like, you do what I'm advising you to do, which is take a look at things logically and be like, okay, like what did I do that could have, you know, affected this? Like, okay, well, nothing. And then you start going like, oh, well, I didn't do anything. I could have done something, so it is my fault. Do not fall into that trap, right? Whatever you did or didn't do has already been done or not done, so it doesn't matter anymore. It's in the past. Really try to get out of the past, because I feel like a lot of your energy is back there as well. We have the King of Swords. You got to be honest, and you got to be almost like, you need to be more blunt. Like you got to learn how to, you got to get that Sagittarius tongue, that Libra tongue, Libras as well too. It's just being, you need to be more blunt and more honest, more tapped into your Libra energy with the King of Swords. Very like, not being mean, but like just being honest, like, and speaking as well. Because I feel like there's a lot of things that are on your mind that you don't actually say. So it could be like when people do blame you, you kind of just accept it. You know what I'm saying? Like something happens, like let's say something happens, and then they're like, oh my God, it's all your fault. And even though it's not, you kind of are just like, okay, yeah, I guess it's my fault. You kind of just take it, right? Don't fucking take it. Excuse my language, but don't. Screw that. If someone is trying to make you feel like it's your fault for doing something or for not doing something, like they're like, oh, why didn't you help? You could have helped. Like, no, screw you. I live my life the way I want to live it. And if I don't want to help, I don't got to help. And it ain't my fault, right? So I feel like there's a lot of blame going on internally, and I feel like a lot of like blame towards you. Six of Cups, Two of Pentacles, and the Hermit. So you really got to take a look at what's going on internally, and you really got to take a look at doing some deep inner child work, okay? Because I feel like the Six of Cups is always nostalgic. It's always about childhood. And I always see it as like either a reminiscent memory or childhood trauma. For me, it's always one or the other. And we have the Two of Pentacles and the Hermit. I feel like you guys struggle I feel like almost like you guys try to be two different people. Like I feel like you guys really struggle as to like being yourself and then being something that people want you to be. Like I feel like you in certain situations you just perform kind of in a way that you think people are expecting of you, and then in other ways I think it's more so when you're by yourself, you become more yourself when you're just with yourself, and when you're with other people it's harder. It's almost like you have to it's almost like acting. I feel like almost like sometimes when you're around certain people or other people, you just kind of like act, and you know that that's not good for yourself because you're not being honest and true to yourself. Something about this is rooted in your childhood for sure with the Six of Cups. This could have been something where like maybe when you try to be when you try to be yourself or express yourself honestly, maybe one of your parents or both of them kind of shut it down and kind of made it seem like a bad thing, and then that's kind of where this negative self-talk comes. So anytime that you try to express yourself how you want to be, then it could be like maybe like let's say you want to wear a cute dress, and this is just an example. You put a cute dress on, look in the mirror, and you're like, oh God, I'm so ugly, I'm so this, and you kind of start hating on yourself in the same way that like your parents were your first haters. I swear to God, I just saw this the other day, and I forgot who posted it. Someone on Instagram. I saw something on Instagram, and they said that your parents are your first haters in life. And I think, honestly, as sad as that is, I think it's true. Because when I look back, the first person that, you know, made me feel like self-conscious or like feel like the what I was doing, like expressing myself, wasn't a good thing was like my mom. And I don't think, and now, you know, we've grown a lot, and I've had a lot of conversations with my mom. I don't think anything she ever did was intentional, but like, it's the truth. It is what it is. My mom technically was my first hater. Now she's like my biggest fan. I love the girl, but like, she was my first hater as a child because my parents were grown. They didn't know any better. And I think it's kind of the same situation where, I gotta catch my breath. So I'm talking hella fast because I had some tea and the energy's just bumping right now. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of growth that could come from looking at that inner child, because I feel like your inner child is very wounded from something that happened when you're younger, and I feel like you still have a lot of growing and maturing to do in that respect. Really, a lot of time. You need to take a lot of time to really grow and mature and tap into your full King of Swords energy, or King or Queen of Swords energy. And the Two Pentacles is a lot of balancing. Like, I feel like you go back and forth a lot with yourself, and I feel like Spirit is saying that it's hard to maintain like the life that you have right now without having to go back. Does that make sense? It's like, it's almost like you need to go back and look at your past, and you need to go back and take a look at your inner child and kind of heal the past, heal things that you've done in the past, or heal how you feel from the past. Because the thing is, it's like the juggling is more so like you're juggling in maintaining the, right, we said about cycles, you're in this new cycle, but you're still holding on to your old cycle beliefs, right? So you're trying to live and survive in the new cycle with your old cycle beliefs. So that's, you need to revisit the past to process things, work on them, feel them, heal them, and then let them go, and then enjoy the new cycle in a new way. But you're trying to like hold on to both realities, and they don't really work that way. So the Hermit is here. This is a Virgo energy. The Hermit is here to tell you that you need to take some time to go within, right? Because a lot of what's here is a lot of really superficial energy. A lot of it's almost like the refusal here in the Two of Swords really could just be that you need to like assess this. You need some help. You need like a therapist or a psychologist, or you need to go within to figure out what this is. But going within could just be a scary place. Even the idea of going within yourself could be part of this traumatic cycle where it's like you've been raised not to do that or not to rely on yourself, right? But I think a lot of inner healing work needs to be done for you guys this month, okay? Let's go ahead and take a message, or let's go ahead and look at unexpected energy. So what does Libra not see coming this month? Unexpected energies for Libra. So what does Libra not see coming this month in January 2021? What is the unexpected energy for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements? We have the Five of Wands, financial and material changes. Financial and material changes. So what you do not see coming this month is that things are going to change financially and in like material ways. So like maybe you could be making more money, you could be making less money. Just keep an eye on it. Maybe have some money in your savings just in case. I kind of feel like it's a good thing. I feel like you're gonna get a boost. So like, but just in case, keep a little extra money hidden just in case anything happens where you do need to spending more than a normal this month. But I think if anything, this is a good thing. I feel like there's gonna be a boost in financial and material things, but that is definitely changing. This could be also just what this cycle is talking about, this change, that something changed, right? This death, that whatever changed, it could have been something unexpected. You weren't realizing it. Maybe you got a promotion, maybe whatever. And maybe you're just not ready for this new thing. Whatever this change happened this month, you were just probably not prepared for it, and that's why it's really hard for you to integrate into this new cycle, okay? But also understand that I feel like that's a good thing. I feel like this change is a good thing though, and I think that you're just really hesitant to really integrate into it, because I feel like I don't know why, I feel like you almost think it's a bad thing. You're really like resisting this change. Let's go ahead and take a message from your spirit guides. So from the guides that watch over, protect Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, what is the message? I just want just one. What is the message for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus? Alrighty, thank you, Spirit. We have Butterfly. I also want to note, butterflies could be really significant for you guys this month, so keep an eye on them. Just because on the Six of Cups, I don't know if this is focused or not, but all these little blue things up here, like there's a bunch of butterflies on this, and then we have Butterfly now. So butterflies could be very significant for you guys this month. Just keep an eye if you see them. Just know that they're messages from Spirit telling you that you're doing the right thing, okay? Let's take a look. I think I passed it already. Oh, no, I didn't. Now I did. Oops. Alrighty. Undergoing great change and transformation, Libra. The energy of the butterfly is with us during periods of transition. Since air is the element of the heart, this change usually involves relationships. Or if you love your job, perhaps your career. And it could be, right? Because we have financial material changes, so it could very much have to do with career change for some of you guys. Since transition is accompanied by an amount of discomfort, be extra patient and kind during this time, especially if the butterfly is you. Let solid friends and activities support you like a cocoon or prayer done at the same time. Like a cocoon, committing to one daily routine, a meal, practice, or prayer done at the same time, place, will do wonders for lifting a butterfly's spirit. So Spirit is saying, the advice the Spirit is giving you is try to commit to a practice. So whether you pray, or you eat dinner, or you do some type of activity, but commit to doing it at the same time every single day, right? And really allow your friends and these activities to support you and nurture you, kind of like a cocoon. So think of your friends and your family supporting you. Think of yourself supporting yourself by giving yourself one committed practice as well daily. Think of all that as your support system to help kind of like surround you and heal you, to be able to transform, right? To be able to let go, to be able to transform and shift into this new cycle. I love that message, super beautiful. Let's go ahead and end the reading with a look at love for single Libras and for Libras that find themselves in a connection. And this will be continued in the extended reading that's available for purchase in the description box down below. So for my single Libras, what is the message in love? Let go of control issues. Allow this situation to unfold naturally. Ooh, Spirit's being a little shady. I honestly think that this is if this reading resonated with you, this is totally about you guys. I feel like there's just a lot of control issues going on right now, and because things are changing and you're not ready for change, like someone that has trouble with letting go of control would have an issue with this, okay? Yeah, Spirit's saying you got to let this situation unfold naturally. Exactly what this situation is and how to help you let it go, we're going to take a look at that in the extended. So if that resonates for you, single Libras, go ahead and click on the link in the description box to purchase the extended. And let's go ahead and take a look at my Libras that find themselves in a connection. Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements that find themselves in a connection, whether it's committed or not, in a connection. What is the message of love this month? Let your friends help you. Ask for and accept help from others. So I feel like you guys definitely need to allow yourselves to be helped this month. I feel like you guys need to, I'm going to get one more for this one just because I kind of feel like this all kind of ties in the same thing. So for my Libras that are in connection, what else? Because obviously we know, all of you guys, whether you're single or not, y'all need help. Y'all need to let go of control issues, but what else? For my people that are in couple connection. Passion, allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. So I feel like there's definitely a lot of passion with your connection with you and your person right now. And it could just be that maybe just because the little bit that I know about Libras, they're a little cold, or they seem to come off that way, but I think maybe you're having trouble expressing your passion or your devotion to your person, and you want to kind of bring more romantic, passionate energy into the relationship. So I think that that's really good for you guys to call into this month. Exactly how you can do that, we'll take a look at that in the extended. So if that resonated for you, coupled or connected Libras, go ahead and take a look at the description box down below and click on the link to get the extended. That is it. I hope that you guys have an awesome, great rest of your guys' day. I hope that this reading resonated with you. I hope that it brought some type of insight to your life, to your day, to your month. Thank you guys so much for your support. I really, really appreciate it. I know I've been gone off YouTube for quite some time, but I am back, and I plan on staying back. I would really appreciate a like or a share or a subscribe if you're not already subscribed, all that stuff. Even comments, just a comment really helps with the engagement and helps me reach more people, which is ultimately my end goal. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.